because I have a brain.
Tom Brady.
But he got upset because we were talking about baseball. I know.
Playoffs? Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
We care.
No, I care.
I care. I know Darren Drager. He's my friend.
Oh my God! Why is it not recording anymore? Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. Today I'm writing solo. Yes, the Live Sports in Two Bottles podcast is actually just me all by myself because my colleagues or friends are busy. They're a little bit busy with life, and such is life when you get older and you have other responsibilities. But I want to talk about our fantasy draft that we have. We've been together. We've been together for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a 6th year in fantasy, and same 10 guys, same 10 teams, and so last year I happened to finish second, so I had a 9th overall pick. And the draft went down pretty interesting because there was a couple of controversial kind of picks in my eyes. But since we do play with 3-keeper rule, some of good players were released back into the wild after the keeper status has expired. So basically you get to keep a player for 3 years, first being, the draft year. So the first round pick obviously was Sidney Crosby. No shocker there. But what happened was after that is we went with the second overall pick went to Tucker Rask. I mean, I'm still shocked, but just by talking about it, Tucker Rask went 2nd overall in our fantasy draft. Mind you, we the scoring categories are pretty basic. We got wins, shutouts, goals against, and save percentage. And offensive players, we got goals, assists, plus minus, PIMs, power play points, shorthanded points, game-winning goals, face-off, and defensive points. Now, taking Tuukka Rask at number 2 is a pretty ludicrous, in my opinion. And in option number 3, overall pick number 3 went to Steven Stamkos. Stamkos. I'm surprised, the team Long Dong Bukkake Blasters went with Steven Stamkos 2nd year in a row over Ovechkin. I would consider them very similar players. Maybe Stamkos a little bit more upside as far as plus-minus is concerned, but goal-wise, you're going to see about, and points-wise, I think you should see about the same. Stamkos maybe a better playmaker, maybe. Well, actually, not maybe. He is a better playmaker, but I think that Ovi also had much worse teammates, if you don't consider Backstrom, who didn't score that many goals last year. I don't believe anyway. The thing is, let's check how many goals Backstrom had last year. See, he only had 25. So, well, that's I guess that's a good amount, but could have probably had 35. Should have probably had 35. Anyway, so number 4 to I guess you go Hoffenbrau, Team Hoffenbrau, went with Jonathan Tavares. It's funny when you do a fantasy league for a very long time because you get to witness players who come into the league and you see them get better and you see them get drafted better. I mean, you obviously see players drop in draft positions, but Jonathan Tavares raising up to number 4 overall. Which was very interesting. 5th being Alex Ovechkin going to Team Paratroopers, who swore that he's never drafting Ovechkin again. I believe he traded him when Ovechkin was struggling, and Corey Conacher had that amazing run in the first 20 games or whatever it was. He traded him for Corey Conacher, and We know how all that ended up. So Team Paratroopers obviously not the brightest of a GM, but I guess he's changed his mind, and I don't think he'll be trading Ovi anytime soon. Number 6 went to Supernovae. It went to Evgeny Malkin. Pretty solid pick. I mean, after here, who do you go with? I mean, you still have a lot of good names available, right? I mean, you have number 7 pick to Ballsy Blasphemy went to Corey Perry, and number 8 went Henrik Lundqvist. Now, I see Henrik Lundqvist number 8, and you see Corey Perry at 7. Corey Perry is very useful in fantasy because of his PIMS. He's up there, but with Corey Perry, what are you looking to get here? You're getting a 35 player. That's 70 points. That is not exactly a huge milestone for a guy like that. I mean, you're not really. I don't know. Is he worth it? He's projected for 40 goals, maybe. Do you see him getting 40 goals? I don't know. It's tough to get 40 goals in the league these days, and that team, I don't know. Would I take him? I would have went with Claude Giroux, which I did with my 9th pick. Claude Giroux. I don't know how he did not go higher. This guy is insane. He is the real deal. You can't deny it. I mean, the guy started off with 0 goals in the first 16 games, and then he just went on a tear. 60 assists, 27 goals. I mean, this guy is a beast, and he's proven he's 100% for real, and he's not going anywhere. Okay, and that's that. Now, we finished it off with Rock Hard Rhinos. He went with 10 and 11th pick with probably the guys that I really wanted to draft myself, especially Jamie Benn. But he went Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn. That is a really good combo to have. I mean, you really, really, really can't go wrong there. You got they're just unbelievable together. Tyler Seguin with 35 goals, 44 assists last year. I probably expected to score about the same, 35 goals, maybe a little less. You don't know. But that first line is just insane. And then adding Jason Spezza to that lineup with Hemsky, that is just I don't know. Dallas over 2 years just became a really big threat. If Lettinen holds up, that's a big problem for that division. And Jamie Benn, he's just been consistent. Even just 64 points last year, 30 goals, 34 assists. I mean, that's his normal. He's probably good for 75 points on a healthy 82-game season, but which he probably will not get just because the way he plays. So with the 12th pick, I took Taylor Hall as left wing. He's probably the best left wing available. I know he has some problems as far as his health is concerned, but you know what? He is a producer. He should score 30 goals, should get 40 assists. So I'm expecting 70 points out of him, no problem. 75, 80, come on. If progression is anything to say about both maturity and the play, I could see this first line with RNH doing some damage. And I think they did have really good chemistry too. So, number 13, we have Erik Karlsson. So, Team Skyscraper goes with Henrik Lundqvist and Erik Karlsson. I know we value defensive points because we have defensive category, but Erik Karlsson, his team got decimated. So, to expect him to do better than last year, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's possible. Really don't. This is another guy who slipped to second round this year. Jonathan Toews. I mean, Taze is really good, especially when you have face-offs, but he doesn't have that point total, maybe 65, 70 points. I don't see him being as a 90-point player like Claude Giroux. I just don't see it. And he has some injuries too, so I don't know. It's possible, but I don't know. I think Taze is not going to be a 90-point player. 15 overall pick, we got Ryan Getzlaf. Again, Supernova goes with Getzlaf and Yevgeny Malkin. So that's two centers, really strong. I mean, Getzlaf, I don't know. I don't think he's going to be as good this year as he was last year. I just don't think I don't think he's going to be as good. He's just not in my opinion anyway, that kind of a consistent 90-point player. I just think so. I don't. He can get there, but consistently, no. Nicholas Backstrom, Washington, went 16th to Paratroopers, who went Alex Ovechkin and Nicholas Backstrom combo. Hoffenbrau went with Phil Kessel with 17 overall. And Phil, the Thrill, I think he might push for 40 goals this year. I think so. I think he's getting better. I think that overall that team's getting better. So hopefully for Toronto he gets 40 goals, which is completely possible. Jonathan Quick went to Longdong Bukkake Blasters with 18 picks. So he went Stamkos and Jonathan Quick. Jonathan Quick, I've had him for the past 3 years, and he's been phenomenal for me, although during the regular season sometimes he struggles after winning the Stanley Cup. So look for him to start slow and then really turn it up towards the end of the season. Patrick Kane slipped to 19th overall to Team Ruski. So Team Ruski went with Tuukka Rask as second overall and Patrick Kane. I would love to have Patrick Kane. I think he has potential for 80 points. But I think just not enough ice time for that team. That's might be the only reason why he will not get there. And Anze Kopitar comes in at 20th overall. And so Sidney Crosby, Anze Kopitar on the same fantasy team. I would say that is a pretty good center lineup there, So that's just the draft. I just wanted to go over the first two rounds with you guys. In case you were interested, it's a fairly competitive league. And that's how it all went down, Obviously, we do have some keepers, which let some people go for other positions a lot earlier on. For example, I had Ben Bishops as a keeper in the 13th round, so I didn't need to get a goalie in the top two. I kind of went with Brian Elliott down the road, which was kind of risky, I guess, and I also picked up Steve Mason, which is really 50-50 there. I don't know if he'll last me the whole season with Philly. I'm hoping for him to get better. I don't know if he will, but he has potential. So that is our fantasy draft. So what else to say? Hockey's coming back. I'm very excited, very pumped, especially that the New York Jets are terrible. They're so bad. Jets suck. And, that's why it's good that hockey's back, so we could focus on good teams. I must tell you that if you are an Islander fan, New York Ranger fan, and New Jersey Devil fan, even. Sorry, for some reason I'm having a hard time composing my thoughts. Jets just do that to me. So if you're a tri-state area and you are a fan of hockey, get your ass down to Long Island. I don't care what you have to do. Every Saturday you go to a hockey game at the Coliseum because this is the last time you will get to enjoy hockey that cheap. Okay, get there at 1 o'clock. Bring a grill. Start cooking and drinking, and have the best time of your life. Okay, I will be there, and I expect to see a lot of people since this is the last year. We'll be enjoying $6 ice hockey tickets. And Islanders will actually be good this year, too. They just picked up Boychuk and Leddy, and those are pretty good players, I would say. Offensively, Leddy has some potential. You still kind of about him because, you know, in Chicago he had a lot of good offense in front of him, and he was kind of sheltered, really, if you think about it. But he has good wheels. Should be fairly good at moving the puck. I'm not fantastically aware of him because I just I don't know. I just haven't probably watched enough of his game to make a concrete judgment. But from what we hear, he's pretty good. On the other side, Boychuk has been dominating the said Islanders and playing really well. Probably the top 3 defensemen on Boston, and you know, when you win a lot, you probably have a good team, and sometimes those people need to get paid, and you can't fit them all under the cap. You tend to trade them, but it was a good trade. They got a bunch of good picks. You know, Islanders could be bad or could be good, and either way, you know, Boston gets extra picks, so it's a good return. If you draft well, you technically keep replenishing your bottom 3 defensemen, bottom 6 players, you know, and hopefully find a gem here and there. Otherwise, you know, you could trade that gem to Dallas Stars because, you know, whatever. Who needs a 90-point player? So, yes, get your ass over to Long Island and start watching some hockey. Please, for the love of God. You're going to see some good hockey from good players. Halak is in there. Tavares is back. It's going to be a joy to watch the Islanders. You know what? They play a really fast-paced hockey. Not always the best defensively, but it's fun to watch. I'll tell you that much. And they got some fun players, you know. We see Conacher, see what he can do. I think he's going to start playing with Tavares and Okposo. Strome is making the lineup. So they got some interesting guys. And, of course, Grabowski and Kuhlman, who will probably get a lot of attention from Toronto media, more so than the Islander media, if they put up semi-decent numbers and if Toronto is not doing good. If Toronto is struggling, especially if they're behind the Islanders in the standings, oh my God, the Toronto crazies are going to go crazy. And it's funny because they're the biggest hockey market there is, and there's plenty of people to cover them. So all the social media gurus and bloggers who are specific for Toronto will be going crazy. But go out there and watch some Islander hockey. It's going to be fun to watch. You know, you get to see some West Coast teams for fairly cheap compared to Madison Square Garden, and I'm pretty sure that once you go to Brooklyn, the tickets will be about $60 and not $6 a pop, you know. The Coliseum is kind of small, so there really isn't too many bad seats. So enjoy it. I highly recommend it. I will be there as much as possible. So definitely check that out. And I'm going to try to stop doing this stupid voice. This is already annoying me. Anyways, fantasy. Fantasy hockey's back in Fantasy Kings, so I would highly recommend you guys enjoy and participate in that activity as well. It's a really, really, really fun way to kind of make you watch a lot of hockey. You know, you draft players every single day for the matchups that you like, and you get to win money or lose money. Mostly lose money, but you can win stuff. So, look, it's really fun. It's $2. you do, I don't know, I do usually 3 or 4 of these a week. That's $10 a week. It spices up games for me, While I'm rooting obviously for my real fantasy players, but sometimes you get to pick up guys like Mark Streit or I don't know, Claude Giroux, even your Tavareses, Joe Thornton. You pick them and you're rooting for them, so you end up watching games. I hate West Coast teams obviously because I have to stay up late, but you do what you got to do. But it's fun. You end up rooting, especially for goalies and stuff like that. And there's shootout goals categories too. Like you get points for shootout goals. So, when those late games go deep, you really start to, I don't know, especially with these rules where players can go back to back. It's kind of fun. It adds a little twist to this whole scenario. So definitely go check out DraftKings. I highly recommend that, and it's a different aspect to your fantasy. Also check out Last Word on sports.com. I'll be writing some fantasy tips there as well for some of the breakout players, hot or not. And I'm going to be doing something called Saturday matchups. So on Saturday you will have quite a bit of games, and you most likely will have to do you have to choose your players, So what I'll try to do is on Saturdays, I will try to post something up where to give you a better matchup, what players to start, what players not to start, basically just off the players owned. So players that are owned a lot, I will tell you who to start and who not to start. So we'll try to get that going, and hopefully, keep the podcast going. I really enjoy this. Hopefully you do too. Also, NHL 15 is going to come out with an update soon that hopefully will bring back the draft. NHL 15 for Xbox Next Gen is phenomenal, and I enjoy it very much. I've been playing a lot of it. I'm kind of getting good at it. I've been kind of winning, and it's been fantastic. It's finally making me appreciate the Next Gen on a different level than I guess you could say before, because I really didn't buy the Next Gen just for any other game but the NHL, and all this negativity that came around it made me feel a little bit threatened or disappointed. Threatened? Why was I threatened? I'm not scared. I'm not scared of you, Xbox. And that's the thing. It's always listening. So every time you say like Xbox on or something like that, it's like it's bloop bloop. Xbox listening. I'm like, shut up. So yeah, it's very interesting to see the whole kind of a live type update situation with Xbox. Well, not just Xbox, but the NHL 15 for the next generation, because these live updates almost remind you of a PC game that back in the day you would just get updates. You would get these free updates towards the game, whether it's adding on features and things like that. So it's kind of interesting to see, and it's very fun, but fun. It's interesting. It's very interesting. It's cool to see what they will add on. It feels like they're more actively trying to add things now than they have ever before. The draft is coming. They did already a couple of patches that fixed the gameplay, which I think they're working and making it better with every update. I think the poke check is nice now. I think that you have a lot more. The randomness of the game flow is quite insane. And if you ever play hockey, it really does remind you of a game, because, like I had a game yesterday, I have a game tonight where the puck is on really reliable thing sometimes. It's just when you think you're going to hold the puck at the blue line, the puck goes over and the other team has a breakaway. So, and NHL replicates that fantastic, because it really, really makes you pay for not being safe. Are you going to pinch at that blue line, offensive blue line, and hold the puck, and then the puck going to bounce? that's the risk you have to take, right? Are you losing by 1 goal, or are you, you're kind of up by 1 goal? So it's very interesting. I like it. I like the gameplay. It is a fun game. I enjoy it a lot. Hopefully it gets better, and online team play, ESHL, it is going to be madness. The physics with the players hitting each other, hitting the goalies, it is going to be fantastic. I could see a lot of interesting and frustrating games, but when you have those 6 players on your team, and they're all actually paying attention and enjoying hockey, it will be a magnificent experience. So don't buy the game if you're just all about that yet, but if you want to get kind of used to NHL gameplay on next gen, I recommend it. It's still fun as hell. Please play it. I'm going to wrap up the podcast today, just under 30 minutes. I don't know. I really didn't have much to talk about. Kind of wasn't prepared. Just wanted to get one out there to keep it going. So DraftKings, last word on sports. Go see the Islanders play and enjoy life. Peace.